coming up. 4 runs required. And it's a 6! And Pakistan have won! Unbelievable!
Those were the good old days, but not anymore. Directly in the line of fire is the Pakistan Cricket Board, accused of being the culprit for inconsistent performances and left-field politics.
I call it the curse of hair. Doping scandals, death of coach Bob Woolmer, infighting between the players, the terror attack in Lahore. And having taken all of these punches, you emerge as a champion.
It was the Pakistan Cricket Board which made the Asian Cricket Council. It was the Pakistan Cricket Board which took the World Cup out of England and made it into an international tournament which is second only to football. And Pakistan had much respect.
The PCB, for starters, has to provide more competitive cricket. At present, there are 22 teams participating in the Quaid-e-Azam Trophy.
Every year, 55 years, I think 56 years of the Quaid-e-Azam Trophy, the structure has changed every year.
But there's been superb talent and there's been enormous popularity. And I think those two things combined has been enough to overcome whatever deficiencies we might have had in governance.
The more the teams and players, the more the number of mediocre players will come to the fore.
Club cricket, college cricket and school cricket was a big thing. It was a big feeder system for our talent. I think it's unfortunately out of the PCB's control.
After delving deeper into every kind of Pakistani sport, the common thread that emerges is a lack of managing local sports and the lack of any viable and popular, regular and recognizable domestic structures.
Cricket at the grassroots level throughout the world has gone down.
कमी है तो सिर्फ हुकूमती सरपरस्ती की कमी है, प्राइवेट फर्म जो हैं उनको भी ज़्यादा इसमें भरपूर हिस्सा लेना चाहिए।
यूरोपियन से हमारा टैलेंट जो है वो बगैर शुबा 50% से ज़्यादा नेचुरल टैलेंट के जो हमारा सिस्टम है वो बड़ा पुअर है।
Unfortunately, our sports budget is practically nil if you were to calculate what other countries are getting.
First of all, its basic is the finances. Pakistan doesn't have that kind of infrastructure and that kind of boards with us.
Sports is not on our main agenda.
How many people watch the Quaid-e-Azam Trophy, the COAS Squash Open or local hockey? Local tournaments are so irregular that at one point, the Pentangular tournament had 6 teams instead of 5.
Important thing is that there has to be enough publicity.
When they write this agreement on the television rights of test matches and international matches being played by Pakistan, they should start saying that the company who's covering these should also cover domestic matches.
Matches used to be capsuled and shown on the international screen. What seems to people as a new idea is in fact an old idea.
Media coverage, crowd appeal, ticket sales, the players' wages, sales prospects for the entire tournament and the regularity of the tournament all play a big part in establishing a domestic structure. The inspiration for such a structure for cricket comes from the recent T20 tournament. To ensure the success of a competitive system, franchises which are supported by sponsors need to be developed.
आप कह सकते हैं कि बॉक्सिंग को अगर 2 डिपार्टमेंट या 2 प्राइवेट सेक्टर जो है वो स्पॉन्सर करे, जिस तरह क्रिकेट की हो रही है, तो आप देखिए क्या रिजल्ट लाएंगे आप?
Serious sponsorship, because that is what makes the tournament valuable.
I played for 10 years for Pakistan and all the tickets were sponsored by PIA.
These people who have the money, they should be sponsoring cricket teams. But these cricket teams should bear or carry a flag of a region. Like India has done in the IPL, I've been saying this for 20 years now.
The key elements here were regionalism, particularly intercity competition.
If there is a sporting team like hockey or cricket or football of Gulberg playing against Model Town, people of Gulberg and Model Town will take interest in the teams.
You can invite even foreign players. You can invite 2 from the West Indies, 2 from Australia, 2 from England.
Top that off with live media coverage by local and international channels, heavy sponsorship, the big names in cricket playing against each other, and you have nothing short of a local IPL. But simply replicating the English league system for hockey or using the Australian domestic cricket structure for our own cricket will not be enough. There is a final step to solve this.
I would say only one word: management.
Cricket Australia has, I think, 70 employees full-time, and the PCB, just to give you an example, has under Naseem Ashraf's time it had ballooned to some 800 employees.
Enter the Pakistani Cricket Board. If we look at the BCCI, ECB and Cricket Australia, their presidents are elected by the associations which are members of the board.
Nowhere else in the other cricketing world elsewhere do they have the head of a country saddled with this responsibility, which I am sure he is not interested in, to run cricket. So we must do away with that and get a constitution, elected representatives running the board.
There's a couple of officials in the PCB who tell you that it's not a constitution that we need, but just a corporate mission statement.
A new constitution will not change the PCB. An idea is only as good as the people who implement it.
This is why I'm so against advocacy, because, you know, it's a one-man show and he just carries on doing what he thinks is right.
They must get their act together.
I'm not sure whether privatization is the way forward, but I don't see another way forward right now.
The rule of management is the best man for the job is the one with the experience and qualifications.
Nowhere else in the world are the cricket boards of those countries managed by ex-cricketers. Cricketers are for cricketing affairs. One of the most successful chiefs of a cricket board has been Jagmohan Dalmia. And I don't think he knows the difference between a cricket bag and a hockey stick.
If you were to take your camera and your microphone to Imran Khan, Javed Mehrdad, Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunus, Inzamam ul Haq, Hanif Mohammed, all of them will be disgruntled, which is a sad commentary.
The other administrative aspects of the PCB, like marketing, human resources and finance, should be run by the best, brightest and most experienced personnel in the country.
The whole system is so flawed that sometimes it's difficult to know where to begin. This state has other issues to resolve clearly in this country. So maybe you can try privatizing it.
I'm not sure privatization is the answer, because cricket, the national team, is the property of every Pakistani.
How much access does the Pakistani population have to sports facilities? Nobody knows. There's been no research, no census, no interest.
How do we expect to nurture international standard athletes when nothing is being done to cultivate them?
This happened to squash, it happened to cricket, it happened to hockey. There has to be an end to advocacy, because that is a disease which is eating your sport up completely.
The sincerity to the overall bigger cause of taking the enterprise forward is foremost. That sincerity is lacking.
These celebrations are the expression of sheer joy and the surprise at Pakistan winning the 2020 tournament. They are also signs of a sports-mad nation with unmeasured potential. Cultivating this potential is our duty. To neglect it would be criminal.